up to you.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Uninkable Dads podcast. And this week we'll be looking at some Amethyst deck lists, and we'll be going through the winners and losers of the purple meta. So, and as always, I can't do this without my co-host. The man that is basically an Amethyst card himself. He's tricky, unpredictable, and sometimes just ends up in the inkwell. But there's one thing for sure, he's definitely not mint condition. It's Grant Glenn.
That's pretty true. I think mint condition disappeared a while back.
yeah. And mint condition goes out the window, I think, when you get to about 12. So yeah, how's your week been?
My week's been very good, actually. I had a couple of nice prizes, so I can show you here. Oh,
ooh, a white rocks.
Not that.
Ooh,
that. Yee. So Uninkable Dads card sleeves.
Very nice. Very nice.
To go with the upgraded. How's it?
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, upgraded Uninkable Dads mats. Yeah.
Nice.
Couple of birthday presents from my parents that arrived this week, so that was very cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I've been brewing this week, so haven't had a great deal of time to test, but I've been brewing, and I'm currently testing something that hasn't got Amethyst in it.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
so what's that? You just couldn't find those cards, or?
yeah. I was like, yeah, this works much better with Amethyst, but no, let's chuck them out and put a random
just
other
throw
colour
out to
in.
one side. We don't need that. Oh, nice.
No,
very nice.
Trying other things. I it is absolutely an Amethyst dominated meta, which we'll talk about in a bit. But I genuinely think there are some combos hiding in the wings that will find their way into the meta. So I'm just trying to see if I can find one at the minute.
Yeah, I think it's basically whoever can come up with the answer to Blurple at the minute, isn't it? Really, I think a lot of people thought that Purple Steel was going to be able to beat it, but it seems to be that Purple's just too consistent. It can even outweigh Purple Steel at the minute. So, yeah, I think if you can find an answer to that and Purple Steel, you're going to be in a good position.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's finding that deck. So.
How's about yourself? How's your week been?
It's been pretty good. Obviously, we went to locals on Friday. Did all right, won all 3 games 2-0, and managed to come second, which is, the joys of percentages. But yeah, no, it was really good. I was playing local. Obviously, I'm going to Cardiff, so I haven't got time to start playing with decks that I won't play with, if that makes sense. Like normally at the start of a set, I'll just play random decks that I just enjoy playing, whereas I don't have that luxury. I need to narrow down on what my deck's going to be. So I'm trying to play that in a minute, and also trying to come up with the answer for it, so that way I can potentially take the answer for it instead of the actual deck. But that's not been very easy at the minute. So, but yeah, that went well. And then didn't really do much at the weekend. We had a nice chilled one, had the kids, so we had a nice chilled Saturday, Sunday. And then back to work on Monday. So, but we have talking about obviously the meta and the share of it at the minute. I just want to point out a new website that seems to be going around at the minute, which is Ink Tracker. So I think it was actually Harlan that pointed this out to me originally. So on here, we have something called Meta Report, but this is composed of basically people's input from their own decks. So the idea is you'll input a deck, and then you can add results from your own deck. So obviously you can pick who you were up against, what format, who went first, second, and so on and so forth. Obviously, I'm only keeping track of my live games, not my live testing games. So these are only games that I've physically played. But from that, you can get a meta report because you've got people that are obviously putting in the data, and then therefore we can get a report from it. Now, the only issue is with websites like this, there's nothing to guarantee it. Someone could sit there and say, I really love puppies, and just spam that they won going second 2-0 every time for 50 decks. Unfortunately...
just give me an idea. I know what I'm doing with my weekend now.
Well, if puppies ends up at the top of this meta report, we know why. But yeah, so from this, obviously, we've had 440 counts of people playing Purple Steel, obviously Blurple, green blue, which is surprising for me. This I wasn't expecting this to be above Amber Steel. So we've had a couple of big tournaments go on this weekend and last weekend, which we've got some deck lists to look at in a minute. But yeah, I wasn't expecting this to be quite this high up. I don't know whether people are testing this in the answer to Blurple, maybe, because I don't know. For me, it just feels like a worse Blurple. It's like Amethyst is the best card draw in the game, so why would you not play this with Amethyst?
I don't know. I think it's got some lines that uh, make it quite difficult for
Yeah.
Blurple. I mean, it's all
I
good
mean,
drawing cards, but if you then have your entire hand discarded, that's
yeah.
not quite so good.
But then if you're playing green, right? So you're playing green because it's good against Blurple. You're playing blue for
Yeah,
the ramp. That's the only reason you're playing blue.
yeah.
So as you can see down here, we've got a lot lower count, but they seem to have a half decent percentage on Amethyst green. So surely if green's the answer to purple, and you can use purple to give you the card draw, is there a potential of the right deck there that could do well? But I think that just folds to aggro.
Yeah, and I think you need the ramp to get into the bigger stuff,
Yeah.
both
I
for
think that's
aggro
key.
and
If they could
for
play their
Blurple.
Hades 2 turns earlier, then you could play yours, or
Yeah.
or 2 turns before you get to Under the Sea or whatever else. Then I think that's where the issue lies in that. So, but yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on this and seeing how things progress over the next few weeks. But yeah,
I
this
think it's
is
a
quite an interesting.
I think it's a really interesting site. I mean, just being able to track your own games,
Yeah, that's mainly what I'm going to be using it for.
put the notepad away,
Yeah,
be able to do it in a lot more digital fashion, and then look back and see how different decks are performing for you. I think that's really really good.
yeah. So when you go into your deck breakdown, obviously it shows you your win percentages. So obviously I went 2-0 on all of them. So going first, second, which I thought was actually quite good. I actually won 2 of my games 2-0 going second. So I played on the draw twice on Friday. So I was quite happy with that. But yeah, so then it would show you a full breakdown of how you've been doing. So, and obviously the more games in here, the more information you're going to start to build. I think you can even you can do matches as well. So you can really narrow down on how things have been going. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And I think it's definitely one I'll be using over the next few weeks. So shall we have a look at the deck list from a couple of events over the weekend?
Yeah, there were a
So
lot of events this weekend, weren't there?
there was. So we will start at the bottom. And when I say at the bottom, fourth place. So, not that far down. So this was at Southside Gaming, which is a major event that happens in, obviously, US. This player finished fourth. It was a 15 case tournament, which is insane. But yeah, so as we can see, Blurple coming in strong here. I know because I watched the stream that the rider should have been Dumbo, but he didn't pull any Dumbos, so he had to put rider in instead. So that would have been Dumbo, but yet he finished fourth, even with rider in there.
Yeah.
So it shows just how consistent this deck is.
The 3-second star to the right is
yeah, that's
hefty.
taking a risk on brick, isn't it? I mean, he's got
usually
no.
See people play 1 or maybe 2, but 3. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got no.
Hefty.
What's the other one? What's the one on Georgia 3?
Finders keepers.
Yeah, so there's no finders keepers in this. So he's got to drop them.
People have been moving away from finders keepers a bit in Blurple just because of the tempo.
Yeah.
Thing, and I guess second star you can sing it, so you're not using ink, so you can keep the tempo up a bit. But
yeah, I found that second star seems to be a win more card though. It's like if you've got a board wide enough that you can sing it and then play stuff, you're probably in control anyway. If you can take a turn off to get 2 or 3 characters to sing.
Yeah, and means you've got 12 uninkables, if I can count, 7, 10, 12, which is on the high side for Blurple, especially. You want to be mulliganing hard for your ramp because that's so important. If you mulligan into 2-second star, an Elsa, and a Hades or something, you're just dead in the water before you start, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
evidently,
But I suppose
that
it's the
wasn't the
same as
case
you're
here.
missing ramp, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then if you have to hard mulligan for ramp, the last thing you want is 7+ cost uninkables in. So yeah. One thing, obviously, on the whole winners and losers of the Amethyst meta, we can obviously see that Iago's slowly being faded down. I mean, we're only down to 2 in this, and TikTok's coming up. So that card's making a massive comeback. I think that was a set 4 card originally. It never saw any play at all until this set. So it shows, rotation doing its job. Quite a lot of these cards would sim beforehand, but that's one that definitely didn't see any play and now is.
Madam
So
Mim. Madam
yeah,
Mim's another
Madam Mim
one.
as well.
She
Yeah,
saw little bits of play here and there, but she was never really.
yeah,
You wouldn't have
she's
called her
set
meta.
5, isn't she? So I think she wasn't technically rotated in, but yeah,
No,
yeah.
she wasn't
So
rotated, but this has given her chance to shine.
yeah, no, definitely. I think one of my favourite things to do is actually play Tipo, and then on turn 3/Ink 4 is to quest with Tipo and bouncing back with Madam Mim. Having that elephant down on turn 4 is definitely impactful up against the aggro decks. So it's quite nice. So going from there, obviously, we'll have a quick scan through these because a lot of these are very similar. There's a couple of different cards in here that jumped out at me when I first looked. So obviously we've changed up the 1-drop here. We've got Diablo. We've also got Rush Rafiki, and the Queen, which is an interesting one. I don't think Blurple ever really struggles with late game lore, does it? It's not something that you don't struggle to close the game out. You more struggle to control it early. So I don't quite. I mean, it's easy for me to say he come third in a 216 player tournament. So I think it was 216. Let me check before I say that. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah. Oh no, 126. Sorry. So, but still, he still
Very
finished
good.
third. So again,
Yeah,
running 2 Dumbo. Again, I don't know whether that was only because that's all he had, or whether that was
that
a
might be your
choice.
answer. That might be why the
Yeah,
Queen's in there.
that could be. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the genie is probably either
I
or.
love to see all the genies in there again.
Yeah,
Favorite
yeah,
Disney characters, but I also genuinely think that the 4-drop genie, supportive friend that allows you to shuffle him into your deck and draw 3
yeah.
when you quest with him is a genuinely good card.
It is in
Genuinely
this
good
set,
card
I
in this
believe.
meta.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, it's so hard to remove. The issue is it's the uninkable. That's the only problem you have there. But
Yeah, and I guess the Rafiki in there is purely for aggro. It
yeah,
just comes down, it
yeah,
takes something out, and then it can quest for 2 afterwards,
yeah.
which is nice.
It's not the best
But
Rust
again,
character, but
uninkable
yeah,
is
because that's the only issue with Rafiki. It's like, yeah, he hits for 5 when you use him, but when they attack back, he only hits for 1. So it's a bit like,
yeah.
you can get some unfavorite trades on the way back, but again, Iago's dropping down to 3, whereas obviously last set that was a pretty much guaranteed 4 in any deck. But yeah, I like it. There's a card still that's in my deck that no other Blurple seems to be running as of yet, which I think is really good. But we'll see. If we come across it, I'll mention it. If not, I might keep that as a little surprise for now. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so the second place deck. Obviously, again, we're seeing very similar play lines here. You got the ones with the Basil, 4 Dumbos, and then this one's dropped the Iago completely, which I also have in mind. I can't find space for Iago, and with the amount of people running Steel, I can't justify having him in there at the minute. I think he's just too much of a please hit me with something. So I've taken him out for now. Again, the Rush Rafiki, which is an interesting one. But, I mean, what are we sitting on Uninkables here? So 4, 7, 11, 13.
I'd say.
That's not too bad, I suppose, but it's still high.
It feels high for Blurple. I think you've
For
got to be in.
a deck that has to hard mulligan 7 if you don't have ramp, that seems high.
Yeah, I think you need to be in single figures,
Yeah.
ideally.
Yeah. But again, same sort of game plan. They've stuck with the finders keepers here. The one off Magic Feather, which is nice.
Yeah, I like that Magic Feather.
Yeah, I think it's quite good. I think it's one of those ones of I was tempted. It's not in mine, but I was tempted to put the Magic Feather and a couple of Monstro just for that OTK. Like if you draw it, it's great. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But I feel like in this meta, it's so quick that you can't just have cards in your deck just in case. It's
No.
like, you know.
So one thing I was experimenting with was the Camilo Madrigal.
Okay, yeah.
So it's the 4 cost 2/5, but at the start of your turn, you can either get in Challenger +2 or an extra law. So it costs you
Okay.
2. You put the Magic Feather down,
Give
you
them
give him
evasive.
Challenger +2, and his evasive is 4/5 evasive. And when you've taken out the evasive that you need to take out, he can quest for 2.
Okay, okay.
So it's nice, but the problem is you don't really want more than one Magic Feather in the deck, so it's not
Yeah, I mean, you could run the little
brilliantly
Dumbos.
consistent.
You got the little Dumbo, which gives Sank evasive till start of
Yeah,
turn, or Timothy. But yeah,
I have to say
it's
I
an
do
option.
like
It's an option.
I like the Basil. I
Mm-hmm.
think the Basil's better than the Diablo
Yep,
in Blurple.
yep,
Don't
100%.
know the Diablo gives you a great deal. Yeah, sure, he
You
replaces
don't need it in this
himself,
deck. It's
but
got so much card draw compared to all the other decks out there. It's got so much
yeah,
card draw that having that one extra on turn one is not going to make a difference.
yeah,
Whereas
just being
having
able
that
to
two support to slap
give
onto
Elsa,
Elsa,
yeah, it's huge.
that's the big difference. And the one card that I am testing with and is currently a free of, I believe, is Ursula in mine. Now, I know, obviously, you sing a song when you exert equal to the cost. I'll be honest, probably 75% of the time, I don't sing anything. But it's the fact you can exert. Elsa coming down on 5 and exerting something is so good, especially if you have got Madam down on turn 4. Well, Ink 4, but I'll call it turn 4. So on turn 4, and then you can Elsa or Ursula to get them that thing sideways, especially in a meta where everything's just sitting still. And then the only song, same as this deck, that I do have that it can trigger is Into the Unknown. The amount of times where I've gone against something where they've gone, okay, well, I'm going to put down, I don't know, I can't think of something right now, but I'm going to slap down a couple of cards. I'm not going to quest. And I just go, okay, well, I Ursula and play Into the Unknown for free and get rid of it. It's when you get those two together, it's a really, really good combo. On her own, she's still really good. You've got the Elsa that is a free cost, I believe. That when she comes in, you can then, when she's ready, you can turn her sideways to exert another character. But the issue is that's you play that on free, you can't use it till turn 4, and it might get removed. Whereas this, it's one turn later, but in Blood Bowl you don't care about that because you're never playing it on turn 3 anyway. So you wouldn't play Elsa till turn 4 or 5 anyway. So therefore it's too late. You've then got to wait a turn. So yes, it's 2 costs more, but it's just an instant does it straight away. So I think this is actually a very, very good card in this deck at the minute. I'm glad that the person that finished second seemed to agree somewhat because they've got it in their deck. So I'll take that. Yeah, I think that's a bit of a slept on card at the minute. Unfortunately, there aren't any other songs you'd want to play, and you can't go with it. You can't be like, right, I've got this in here. I need 10 songs to make this work. It's not there for that reason, So, but the deck that finished first, Southside Gaming, took away the win, was a purple steel. So after all that, it was a purple steel deck that won it anyway. But they do have the 4 Dumbo. It seems to be that all the decks that seem to be doing well do have that Dumbo. So it can't be a coincidence. There's got to be something in it. But yeah, it's interesting
No,
to
it's
see.
it's absolutely 100% a good card. Obviously, I mean,
Yeah,
so I don't think anyone's doubted that from the time it came out. And these are big tournaments, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
we're talking about, the top of these tournaments are all very, very good players. So small margins is everything, right?
yes, 100%.
This is very different to playing at your locals or playing at set champs. I still think for those sort of competitions, you don't need Dumbo.
No, no,
But yeah,
100%.
when you're talking about some of the best players in the world playing each other,
Yeah.
any marginal advantage is
Yeah, that's it.
is
If
huge.
you
And
go into your CCQs, your DLCs, some like you say these big tournaments, then the chances are you're probably investing into your deck anyway. But if you're going to locals and stuff like that, you don't need it. The chances are that having this card in your deck isn't going to make the difference. It's going to be more about taking your time and actually playing the game more than one card can win you or lose it, sort of thing. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. This did this obviously got the win, and I think I haven't got the deck list, but obviously Zach Bivens was there, who's obviously made top 8 at Worlds, and he was also running purple still. I think he come
yes, purple
fifth,
steel's kind of been his deck, hasn't it? He's played
mm.
amber steel and
but I
purple
don't
steel,
think he
but
had the Dumbos. I don't think he could get hold
right.
of them. So it was interesting to see there that this one
Mm.
made it and that one
I mean
didn't.
the
But
the illusions package is
mm.
interesting, right? So
But yet you got an illusion package, but no Iago.
no Iago, yeah, and I think that's right. I'm not sure the Iago. Well,
I suppose you want your illusions down before turn 4, don't you? So
yeah,
you want the
ideally.
1, 2, and 3. So then that way, when you slap Treasure Garden, you should have one down.
And I think the point is, if they want to use the Father Cannons on Palace Guard, fine. If they want to use a Smash on Raja, fine, or a Strength, you know.
Yeah,
Whereas that's a lot less painful than them, say, strengthening Iago for 1 damage and getting rid of it, kind of thing.
yeah,
That or hypnotic strength onto Iago,
yeah,
that kind of feels painful. It feels a bit of a tempo loss. Even with Cobra, you're generally bringing Cobra down and using his ability to gain the 2 law.
hmm,
So if they then get rid of it, you're like, okay, well, I got the 2 law value out of it anyway. So, and Treasure Guardian draws you a card when it comes down. So I think
yeah,
that's probably the reason that Iago's not here and the
yeah,
others are.
yeah, definitely. Like I say, the thing is as well, like I say, if they use a smash on Roger, it means they're not using it on Dumbo. So
Mm.
it's kind of you'll take that, I suppose. Um,
Yeah, and the Jasmine's interesting because
mm,
on Friday night, the match that I lost on Friday night, well, I got absolutely crushed by, was a purple steel mirror, um, playing the Jasmines, and yeah, just dropped at the right time with that seven
yeah,
willpower, and I just had absolutely no answer to it.
yeah, because you play Tom, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Tom. Who,
Yeah, yeah, because he had it with me as well, and I forgot that it was evasive on their turn. So I was just like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just quest for Genie. You can't do anything to it anyway. And he was like, Jasmine takes that Genie. I was like, what? I was like, damn, didn't read that properly. So yeah, I think it's as we can see from the results, it's a very powerful deck, and it seems to be, like we say, a little bit of a pattern with these Dumbos at the minute. But from the Southside Gaming, we do have one little surprise for you. I know you like your Ruby Amethyst. So this actually come fifth.
yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, you did really well. So this was Ruby Amethyst. Is it a damage fling ding deck? I don't really know. I mean, you've got a fair amount of it in here. The one card I think that makes the biggest difference that I've seen lock down a lot of boards is the Mother Gothel. So Mother Gothel is whenever one of your characters challenges, you may remove 1 damage counter from a chosen character to an opposing chosen character. So if you're hitting for 2, you can all of a sudden move an extra damage and hit for more. Is that
Yeah,
how
and
that works?
you can clear this up for everyone that's listening, because I know this is a point of confusion.
Oh, go on.
At
I'll get
what
this wrong.
point does that damage move happen? So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
challenging in to
Whenever one
another
of your characters
character.
challenges, move 1 damage character from
So
chosen
does
character
does
to
that
opposing
damage
character.
have to happen before the challenge? So if I haven't got damage anywhere on the board and I challenge in, am I
And I
am
would say
I
you have to complete the challenge first. So the challenge has to be completed to its full. So even if you get banished, that's that gone. You don't get a chance to move the damage from it.
but
Once
if
the
I
damage
challenge and
is
I take
completed,
2
then you get to do
damage,
it.
then I can move one of those 2 damage?
Yes. That's how I would see it anyway. I could be wrong there, but
Yeah, let
I
us know
would
in the
say so.
comments if you are,
Yeah.
if we are, because
Judge Imogen,
that's
where are
one I
you?
know that. Yeah, I know that it's been confusing, and I'm actually not 100% clear on it
I
myself. So
think so.
if you do know, let us know.
I'm pretty sure you would have to finish the challenge first, which then, like I say again, if you're running something that's only got 3 willpower into something that does 4 damage, I'm sorry, that wouldn't work. 3 willpower into something that has 3
For
strength, you
willpower.
wouldn't get a
Yeah.
chance to take it off first. It would get
All right.
banished first.
It
So
would
it's
get
not like
banished.
you
Yeah.
can, yeah, it's not like you can favor up your trades, if that makes sense. You can't be like, well, you were hit for 3. I only have 3 strength, willpower. I challenge him, but then I move 1 to save my character. I think you have to complete
Yeah.
the challenge first. Once the challenge is fully completed, then you get to move, because it's also from chosen character, so it doesn't have to be from that character. It could be from another one.
Okay.
So that's how I'd read it. Obviously, I could be wrong, but
No, I definitely like this. I like the Milan. I
mm-hmm.
I would probably be even stronger on that Milan, to be honest. They've
Yeah, I
obviously
mean,
gone for a sharp Milan 2-2 split. I think you could probably. I'm not sure you need the 10-1 drops in the current meta.
no, no. I mean, you've got Pasgard, obviously, that is there. Oh, no, he's not there for the thing. Okay, no. Yeah, so Pasgard, I reckon, could probably go then. I can't see why. Holds damage, I
Palace
think that's
Guard
the
is
thing,
there
isn't it?
because it holds damage. I think
Yeah.
that's the pure reason for it.
You can damage it with Man Medusa,
Madam
can't you?
Medusa.
But it doesn't get traded. But then I've always liked damaging Diablo, because then you draw a card from it. So I think I'd 4x on Diablo and drop Pasgard down to 2, and then that way at least then you damage Diablo, gain a card from it, and then bounce one of theirs. So, but yeah, I think
Lose
it's
the Way
obviously
is interesting because that's another card that we haven't
yeah,
see
yeah.
play.
It's another one that's popped up again. It's the whole thing of exerting. I think it's going to be so key. So exert a chosen character, then you may move. You may choose and discard a card. If you do, exerted character can't ready at the start of next turn. I don't think the discard thing really that important. Obviously, it would help in aggro if they're going to quest out and you could stop them. But I think it's mainly there for the exert. You pay 2, they exert, which is really good, especially when you've got Maui in here. So this can be obviously rotated over and over. So yeah, I think it's got options, because this is also game 1 law when you got Maui on board. So. But yeah, I think it's really nice. I'm not sure on the mail on this. I don't know whether I'd cut him. I don't know whether there's enough decent actions in here. If you had Pirate's Life in here, then maybe you could justify Maui, but I don't know whether. But interesting.
I'd definitely cut him. That's only because I've
Why is
only
that?
got
Because
one
you don't
copy
have
of.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy decision for me.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. So going from there, obviously that was Southside Gaming. So that was actually on the release weekend. So that was the very first weekend. So obviously decks there were a little bit dependent on what people pulled and stuff like that. So going on to the next one, which was Ink Open. Now this was a 226 player event, and it was a core constructed 10k. So this person finished 4th. You're going to see a little bit of pattern with these. Obviously, we won't spend too long on these because these are very, very similar. Again, we've got the standard 1 drops, 2 drop, Diablo Genie. They have kept Iago in this, and and then from there it's pretty standard. There's nothing in here that overly surprises me. Just a very consistent deck. Obviously, the one of second star. I think if you're going to run it, one off's probably fine. A lot of people are now obviously dropping Finders Keepers for Visions. I've actually dropped it for Visions myself because Visions in the future, you pay 2, look at top 5. Yes, you're not drawing as many, but the chances of you get into 13 ink so you can Finders Keepers into a Hades is very difficult because you don't want to be inking every turn. Whereas getting to 9 ink so you can Vision into a Hades is a lot more reliable and easier to do. So I've dropped Finders for Visions because I found that it's more about having the right cards in hand than having loads of cards in hand, if that makes sense. So, but we'll see. Obviously, third place, again, very, very similar list. They've got Visions and Finders in this one. Scrooge, which a few of them are starting to run now. I think it's just a 5/5 cost 2. It's good. The only thing it's not going to be good in is the mirror because I'm just going to Hades it or into the unknown. But apart from that, I think it's pretty good. 2 second star. Apart from that, everything's standard in here. This is, again, what we're starting to see with the very standard purple list of TikTok. Madam Remember being the new real inclusive ones from this. Again, second place. We're going on to here. And again, same thing. We've got Madam Mim. They actually kept the Iago, which I was a bit surprised at. Madam Mim TikTok. And then second star again. But yeah, again, another very, what you'd say probably like, 55, 54 of this, the purple deck seems to be locked down. And there's about 5 or 6 cards you can play around with as a flex. But then the winner, so after all of this, the winner was an Amethyst deck. So we went through all of that. And then the winner was a Hyper Aggro Amethyst deck with the Aurora, Tiana and Nala, which I think is a deadly combo. So,
and this was like the third time on the bounce that this particular tournament has been won by Amber Steel, wasn't it? So it's quite
I think so.
popular at that tournament.
Yeah, they've got some very experienced players at it.
I like the bolt in this.
Yeah, I think it's nice, especially when you've got Tiana down.
Yeah, I was talking to Lily about potentially popping that back in her deck because she played it a bit in a previous set, but was exposing
beforehand
it
he got taken out too often. Easily, didn't it?
Yeah. So now with the Tiana, with the Pluto, if you can put it down behind something, it's a dangerous card.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say the Snow White's making a comeback. Obviously, this character can't be challenged, so you have to find another way of dealing with it. The Rapunzel's Tower to give everything +3, so that that's going to make things even more difficult to get things removed. But yeah, I think it's a very strong deck. The 2 Daisy surprised me. That was one thing that jumped out and was like, it's one of the most broken 1-drops in the game. But I suppose if you're that high on Uninkables, yeah. And the thing is as well, in this meta with so little card draw, most of the time I'm leaving Daisy on board. It's like I'll take out Inala, I'll take out Penny, I'll take out Lady. They quest for the same, but this thing, especially in my deck, I'm only running 10 actions. The chances of me finding one, or if anything, it's going to put cards I don't want at the bottom. So most of the time, you're probably going to leave Daisy questing away. So therefore, maybe that was an idea of, well, I don't want to be giving you cards. You've got to find your own cards, and I'll find something else to quest for free instead. So yeah,
this has got 20 Uninkables.
Yeah, it's high. It's very, very high. A lot of them are under 2 cost. You're only got Tiana that's above. Everything else is 2 cost or less. So I think that's why you can get away with it. But your mulligan must be horrible. Because you can't put an inkable card back, no matter what it is. You can't afford to put it back, because if you put it back, you could draw an uninkable. You can replace your uninkables. So if you get 3 Tianas, by all means, stick 2 back. But if you draw a handful of inkable cards, but you want something else. You got to be very, very careful on what you put back. So I think that obviously would take a lot of practice if you're running this high, because aggro can brick as it is with the small amount of card draw. The one thing I found quite nice as a nice little inclusion was obviously I won't give in, which is return a character which costs 2 or less from your discard to your hand. It is a song, so obviously your bodyguard can sing it. You've got two cost bodyguards, which only cost for 1, so you may as well get them to sing something like this and put Nala back in your hand. So yeah, I think it is a very strong deck. They obviously did very, very well with it. Like I said, this was 226 players and they finished first, so they did extremely well. And it'd be interesting to see how many of these cards start popping up now that we've obviously got this information out there. Not us personally, but the Ink tournament. So, but yeah, I think Amberstill's not going anywhere anytime soon. As much as it's not as bad as we all thought when we all went, oh no B prep, it's over. You may as well just turn 1 Daisy, give in. I don't think it's as bad as we originally thought, but it's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon.
No, it's interesting, and I mean, if it does come more heavily back into the meta, does it mean that we see more green being played because of Under the Sea?
Under the Sea, yeah.
Potentially.
I think it'd either be green or potentially more steel, just in general. So a lot more purple steel, because that should be okay up against it. You've got more than enough stuff that deals damage in that to be able to take it down. Even blue steel could, we see enough amber steel, sorry, because they have a lot of stuff that you can ramp into, so therefore their stuff can do damage earlier as such. So could be interesting. Could be interesting to see. But yeah, they were 2 very big tournaments. Obviously, I'm not sure if there's any more big ones this weekend. I'll keep an eye out, and we'll see what comes up. I know that Charlie's collection, I can't remember what it is. Is it CCS?
CCS, Charlie's Collectible Show.
That's it. So I believe that was on, but I didn't manage to get the deck list for that. But again, I'm pretty sure they're going to be very similar. So yeah. So going on from there, we've had a bit of a mix-up on the Uninkable Dads podcast. We've decided to get that flavor text game and yeet it out the window. So it's episode 30. So we've decided to bring in a new game.
Yeah, it's about looking at the flavor text game was about looking at the flavor text on the card. So that was good. Got us to look at the cards in a slightly different way. This is about looking at the artwork on cards and thinking about that in a slightly different way, potentially.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of very, very stunning artwork out there that just gets looked over, doesn't it? You don't really spend the time looking at it. So
yeah, this is one that you at home or at work or in the car or wherever you're listening to us from, you can join in as well, for future episodes. So, stay tuned to this bit, and then do join in as we take this new game forwards.
Yeah, so the idea and the challenge I put out to Grande Glen was that you had to pick 2 cards that art alone, so take away everything else you know about the card, whether it's a hero, villain, whether you know that person to be good, bad, whatever. Take everything away and look at card art only, and pick 2 cards that you would most happily see as a doctor. So if you went into A&E or the ER or whatever, and there was a doctor there, you'd go, okay, that's fine, that's a doctor. Obviously, there's a lot of cards you'd probably be like, I wouldn't want him as a doctor, but we're picking 2 cards that we do. So your 2 cards that you come up with was Honeymelon Chemistry Whiz for number 1, which I can see. I can see that.
Yeah, she's going to mix up a potion that's going to cure me. Give me something magical. And she's, with the jacket on there, she looks a bit, a little bit doctory.
Very nice, very nice. And then your second choice was Hades.
So this is maybe a bit more of a curveball. But I was looking through it. There weren't many, right? This
No,
was tough.
this was hard. This
We
was hard.
started off. So yeah, do this yourself at home. Open up your binders, have a look through, see if you can pick two doctors. It's not easy. Artwork alone. So because before I quite understood the rules, I was going for um, Calhoun because I thought she could get in there and whatever the emergency situation was, she would just boss people around and get it sorted. But we're
No,
artwork
artwork
alone.
alone.
So the reason I've gone for Hades is that look
Because it
and with
got
the
to 2 o'clock in the
fingers.
morning and you're giving in.
This is this is just like my GP sitting across from me going,
Okay, yeah, I
"Yeah,
see that.
really, Glenn. Okay, so you've been eating more healthily, have you? And you're going to the gym 3 times a week. That's it was just
Yeah,
that
yeah,
look. I was just like,
yeah. Okay,
mm.
yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So I feel like mine are kind of a bit weaker now after seeing yours. So
Oh, I'm
the
sure
two
they're
I
not
went
as different.
with was Powerline, taking the stage. Now I went with this one because I thought he looked like a surgeon. Just like that
Oh
sort
yeah,
of like
okay.
surgeon look about him. Like I don't know, a little bit crazy. Wants to get in there and get the operation done. I don't know. There was just something about him
Well, I
that just
guess it
screamed
maybe
surgeon.
yeah. If you've been rushed into ER early hours of the morning, we won't say what you've been doing and whether it involved alcohol, but you've been rushed into early hours in the morning. This is your surgeon that gets called back from the disco, from the
Yeah, yeah,
discotheque.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. It probably looks about right. Had a few drinks himself, and away we go. And then the second one, because I've wanted to go down the power line route, I went with Roxanne. I just thought it looked like a very sweet card. I thought she'd be very nice, like very comforting doctor, like very like, okay, so what's the issue? Listen to you for 6 hours, waffle on about the issue, and then go, oh yeah, you just need to go to the gym more. You know. So yeah, they were my two. So I feel like kind of weren't quite as good as yours. I feel like yours was slightly more up there, but yeah. So for this week, staying on the pound line, looking like he's come straight from the disco. For next week's, we want you to tell us your two card art only cards that you would like to be the life of the party. Who you reckon would be the one at that disco at the party, who is the one that makes it all not about them, but makes the life of the party is brings the party to life. So from card art alone, which two cards do you look at and go, he would be good at a party? So yeah, and
Cool.
bonus points if you can come up with why he'd be good. Has he got a special ability? Does he crack out the worm or
Yeah. So let us know in the comments who are the two characters that you're going to be out partying with, and also we're going to need some ideas for taking
Yeah,
this forward. So if you've got any ideas as to what themes we could use taking this forwards, two characters based on art alone that X blank. If you can fill that blank in, then again, do get in contact. Let us know. Drop it in the
yeah, definitely.
comments, and we'll see where we can go with this and what cards it brings to life and gets us to take a look at. But yeah, it's a fun game. I enjoyed looking back through some cards
Mm,
again that I probably haven't noticed in my binder for a while because I'm normally focused on just taking it out cards that I'm going to be
yeah.
playing with. So yeah, good
Yeah, this
opportunity to
I'm
enjoy the
I'm
art.
terrible at it myself. It's like you'll go for a set and it'll be like 3 sets later, and someone will say, "Did you notice this on this card?" And I'll be like, "Oh my god, no!" I'm terrible. I don't look at the art properly, and I have a quick look at it and then like yeah, pass it on. It's like I think it's Lawrence. I thought the guy was standing there holding, eating a pie. It's a crown.
It's
You just don't notice these things because I don't pay attention that much to the art.
Yeah, no,
So
there is so much detail in the artwork, so many
yeah,
clever little
yeah,
thing put in.
yeah. So if you do spot anything that you didn't notice before as well, let us know doing this. It'd be interesting to see how many people go, "Oh my god, I didn't even know that." So yeah, that's the new game. Also, if anyone come up with a name for it, that'd be great. But we'll go the art matters for now, and we'll see what we can come up with on that one. Okay, so we have some Whispers in the World news for you. So obviously, Whispers is the next set coming up, and they have released some images of playmats. So we have some really nice images of what the next 2 playmats can look like. Also, we have some of what the card packs and stuff like that look like. So the first one is obviously Jasmine, and I try not to buy playmats, but this is stunning.
That is, yeah.
I was looking at this thinking, I don't need another one. I don't. Maybe I do.
But for all you Blurple players out there, what an ideal.
It's a very colour.
Playmat.
Yeah. Fits in well with the colour theme, doesn't it? And the other one was Mickey. So we also got Mickey as the playmat.
Had to be, right?
Yeah. Again, I think this is nice, them bringing out playmats now from basically a set before, because it gives us a chance to look at the cards and get used to the cards before they just drop a playmat. Because if they drop these, they wonder, like, what are these? Whereas now it's a bit like, we know what these are. Really nice playmats. So we also have what the packaging is going to look like. So this is the Wisdom's World packaging. Obviously, you've got the playmat either side. We've got the starter decks down here, the single player deck, sorry, not the starter deck, which seem to be emerald green and blue steel for the next set, which is interesting. I don't think we've had an emerald green one before, not from memory. Obviously, this is from what people have dug into. I won't go into too much of that now, but it's about the new boost mechanic and card stacking and stuff. So that could be an interesting. It's going to be a real mix-up next set, I think. Also, we have a trove. Again, we don't get massive amounts of information. We don't know what's in the trove, what the dice or dividers or anything look like. But we've got the packaging. And also we know the 3 characters that are going to be on the front of the pack. So we have Gaston, Daisy, and I believe someone in our group chat did say this was from Gargoyles.
Yeah. Demonica, I think.
Never seen.
Let us know.
Let
us know in the comments. Got that right.
So they're the characters on the pack, which last time were the Enchanted. So are they going to trick us here and then not this time? Could be interesting to see. We could get a Gaston Enchanted, which, I think a few people will be happy about. But yeah, so that is the next set, which is obviously Whispers in the Well, which is in 7 weeks' time. Because this set is flying past.
Around quick.
It's flying past quick. So yeah, I'm sure we'll bring you more news on this, because this is just going to keep releasing more and more info as we go. But yeah, it was nice to see some art of what we've got coming. Obviously, I know a lot of people will be like, we've just had this set, and it's like, I completely agree. But bit of packaging art doesn't hurt. So before we wrap up the episode, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has liked and subscribed and left them comments and stuff like that on the videos. They do really, really help. Like I've said it before, we are a podcast channel. We're not a videos channel. So, any interaction really helps, and the subscribers massively helped. So if you aren't already, go on, scroll down. It's there. Find it. Hit that subscribe button. It will really, really will help us out. And if you want to stay up to date, click the little bell notification. Like I say, it's only once a week. We won't spam you, and you'll get a nice notification of when the pod goes live. And yeah, and thank you to everyone who has been watching. It's really been picking up recently, which is really nice. So if you haven't already, like I say, please hit that subscribe button. But I think that is it, unless there's anything else you want to bring up for this week.
Not from me this week, other than to say, good luck, have fun wherever you're playing Lorcana. If you haven't got Dumbos, don't panic. And if you are one of those people that isn't a fan of the Amethyst meta, then get cooking. Right? There's an answer out there. You just got to find it. And if you're the first one to find it, you'll be winning plenty of games.
100%. So yeah, thank you very much for everyone for joining in today. And it's time to roll up that playmat.
Pack away the dice.
And remember, stay uninkable.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Doing today? Listen to the show and learn to play. Whether you are new or you're a pro, I'm sure we have something to show. Amber, green, red, and steel, then purple, blue, complete playmats. So what ink color are you gonna choose? Inkable or uninkable? It is up to you.